Good evening, everybody. Welcome each and every participant for this program, which is RH294. It's a Red Hat official training on RHCE8, which is Linux automation using Ansible. This complete program would be under the mentorship of none other than Mr. Vimal Daga, the world record holder, Red Hat certified architect level 22 with enterprise application level 7. This complete training comes under the official domain of Red Hat, and that's the reason the ones who have enrolled for this program is entitled for the Red Hat official courseware, as it was mentioned, along with a training certificate from Red Hat and a training certificate from Linux World. To know more about your mentor in small or in gist, if I talk about him, he is the one who's a senior principal consultant on various technologies across the globe for almost all the top Fortune 500 companies. He has served all the various sectors, specifically with relation to all the DevOps tools which are utilized in the market. He's popularly known in the market as a technology guru, dealing with and specifically handling all the integration level technologies, wherein you have to integrate either Ansible with something, or probably have to integrate machine learning with Ansible, something like this. This is what is his forte, is Mr. Vimal Daga's forte. This complete training would go on from Tuesday to Friday from 9:15 p.m. IST time to 10:45 p.m. IST time. This is going to be a complete live sessions under the world record holder and not the recorded sessions, as it was being clearly mentioned on the website as well. What is the content? How do we proceed ahead? And many other things. I think none other than Mr. Vimal Daga, sir, can be the right person to help you and guide you through this complete process. This journey, the technical content, is very rightly available on our website. This has been called as RH294. A lot of achievements with Linux World Informatics Private Limited behind this program. We were the first ones to conduct the official EX294. When we say EX, it's the examination for this paper. The Red Hat Global Exam, we were the first ones in India and Asia to conduct this exam last year. And Mr. Vimal Daga is the first one to get certified on this. We have created multiple records after this on RH294 and EX294, having maximum number of people certified under one roof in a span of 7 days. More than 1,000 people were certified on RH294. That's called as RHCE version 8. The moment Ansible came into this, it's been renamed as RH294. All the Red Hat personals, if you go on our website, you can view them, have really appreciated, in fact, have taken a bow in front of all the participants who had cleared this paper, this global certification in the first attempt, because if you have a right mentorship, if you are under a right mentor, things becomes very easy. And for a person like Mr. Vimal Daga, people tell him across the globe that he is the one who can make any technology easy for any common man. And that's the reason I would like to hand over now to Mr. Vimal Daga, sir, to carry forward with his complete content and taking you through this complete journey of RH294. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Hi guys. This is Vimal. Thank you, Preeti, for this great intro about me. Guys, this is the first day of. I just wanted to welcome you guys. This is the official program from the Red Hat, and I would be RSCI certified instructor from the Red Hat to deliver this content. That's purely on the Ansible. By chance, it is a part of RSC, or I can say the actual name of the module is Linux automation with Ansible. That's called RH294, right? So uh, almost everybody somehow is connected with me in my some in my other training. So you guys know about maybe high level about me, but maybe most of guys over here, because according to my team, they told me around 100 plus, maybe around 100 plus different industry people are over here in this training, guys. So not 100 plus total professionals, I can say 100 different industries people, right? Somebody from IBM, Infosys, maybe from GE, from Capgemini, or maybe from XYZ company are the part of this training, right? So again, is one of the great training, guys. I can say a lot of guys are not from India, are from different country and different time zones. So highly appreciated, guys. You have somehow managed your time with our time zone to be part of this training, guys. But yeah, most of guys might be, it would be might be the first time you guys are engaged with me in some of my training. So it is always good, guys, to know about the instructor, those who don't know by chance about me. So it's very pretty simple, guys. If you search my name Vimal Daga on the Google, you'll see tons of thing about me, my story, my some media coverage XYZ. Or plus, because we this training is more about the technical, so I think LinkedIn would be the right source to tell about me what exactly I'm doing. So it's been, I think, 19 or 20 plus year maybe to work in this industry. And I think almost all the big vendors or companies industry have touched, I have worked for as a freelancer, as a corporate trainer, as a as an integrator, plus developers and lots of other guys. Way I worked on almost in all the domains, right, from machine learning to DevOps. And DevOps is, guys, a big world altogether. So maybe Jenkins, maybe Kubernetes, maybe Docker, maybe maybe lots of other things also we have here, like for example Ansible, Puppet, SAF, and tons of different tools. And almost every company from Samsung to Dell, AMC, Wipro, I've worked on. And plus all big certification in any of the technical domain I have in my portfolio, right? So very basics overview about me, but I think you guys are more interested in this program called Ansible, right? So before, guys, I start discussing about the program, and I will show you the outline and the content of this particular program. I just wanted to tell you one small information that we haven't discussed in our campaign of this Ansible training, right? But I think it is good to tell you on the first day, you guys, so that you guys can see the power of this program, right? So um, if you guys see I can say the process of the global program of Red Hat. So at the core level, they have RSCSA, okay, as admin program. And the top of RSCSA, they have a training program called RSCE. Okay, and on the top of RSCE, they have one very advanced program, and one of the top program I can say in the entire world. It's called RSCA. A means architect. Okay, technically in RSCSA level, they talk more about Linux and the core concepts. Now, after the version of Red Hat Linux, they from 7 to 8 come up, right? They change the entire curriculum, and the new content of RSC is this one, where they update all the content, and here they talk only about the Ansible. Okay, but for the Red Hat perspective, anybody who wanted to learn RSC or learn Ansible, they have to know most of the basic concept of the Linux. Okay, and that's what, guys, we write in the website also. But don't worry, guys, maybe most of the guys are maybe new in Linux. So we will do, guys, we have some recorded class of RSCSA. Not every topic you should know, but some of the topic you should know, maybe basic command, maybe yum command, web server, networking, some basic concept. So time to time, guys, we will keep on sharing extra as a bonus video to you. You can think in this way to upgrade your skill. So you won't face any difficulty in the term of learning the Ansible. Okay, but for initial classes, you guys might not so much knowledge we require. But yeah, when I go for Ansible advanced, you might require some basic knowledge as a prerequisite. But don't worry, guys, I'm not asking you to first invest your time and invest your money here. We will provide you guys as a bonus from our side. This is one thing. Second, that is a very important announcement over here we have. After RSC, they have one of the advanced program called RSCA. That's called Red Hat Architect. Okay, Red Hat Architect, and this is so advanced program. You can consider it is one kind of a specialized program they have. Okay, and in this specialized program, they have a different modules or different courses, I can say. So one course purely on security, one score purely on storage, like if you heard about SAF storage, one course purely on cluster, if you heard about some Red Hat cluster or something like this. One we have purely on satellite, one purely on performance tuning. Right, like this they have multiple specialized different course, different independent exam for specialized track. Okay, but they have one more program over here. It's called RH 407. That is specialized program on Ansible. Okay, so if you search for RH, or I can say not RH, DO 407 from Red Hat. So there's a specialized program, and this special program, guys, is known as COE training. So these guys is the pure training or advanced program on the Ansible. So you can see the content here also in the top. Okay, so they have. So why I'm telling guys this point here, because I am going to give one quick announcement here. Okay, the announcement, guys, here is normally anybody who want to make the career in the DevOps. So DevOps, guys, is a big world. Maybe most of you guys don't know the meaning of DevOps, but my in upcoming classes of Ansible, I will talk about what exact meaning of DevOps also, and where the Ansible fit in the DevOps, and what kind of use cases and challenges solved by Ansible. Okay, but mostly in the DevOps world, we normally wanted to use Ansible. But so in this program, what you guys enroll on, that is called RSC, or I can say the right word would be RH294. So in this training, we have a lot of content about the Ansible. A lot of content about the Ansible. Okay, but some of the content they have in their specialized paper. Okay, obviously they are specialized, they charge you more if you go for this 407. So what I did for you guys, I want to save your time and I want to save your money also. So what I did, guys, again, that's the step we have taken from the Linux world. It is not from the Red Hat. For Red Hat, there's two different training, and for Red Hat, there's a two different cost involved, right, in learning these two content. But what we have done at the Linux world, right, while doing this 294 training, guys, I'm going to pick all the topic, I can say almost all the topic of 407. Okay, and you don't have to pay any amount for this. It will be completely free of cost for you. So everyone who is listening to me, it is for all the one, for everyone, so you don't have to pay and invest extra time also. So while doing this training, okay, while doing this training, I'll keep on picking some of the topic from here. Picking means that does not mean I'll just touch and give the overview. Picking means I will also cover this topic in very much detail. Very much detail. Okay, that's what, guys, I will do here. Even though recently, guys, by chance, according to my calendar, whatever training I pick, I don't take this training again at least a year. But due to some other reason, because we have some one program going on, it's called Earth. So Earth, guys, has Ansible in the program, so I think to take this training one more time. But recently I delivered one Ansible training, and after this training, almost all almost all the corporate guys told me, Vimal, what are we committed? So somebody tell me we have the book of 407, and we check all the books in the labs, and what you told us, it is been completed. So everything in the 407 is completed for us. So you don't have to invest the money and the time. But yeah, this is not the official training. It's official training content, I can say, but it's not official by Red Hat. So obviously we can't give a training certificate of 407. Okay, That's the different point, to be very clear. Okay, because right now you have registered on 294. Apart from training certificate, because this is the official part of Red Hat, I think more important is the content. So I will cover all the content of 407 over here. This is one thing. Second thing is, because I keep on implementing Ansible and solve multiple different use case of recently, one company called JP Morgan, JPMC, and GE's multiple company have recently solved multiple use cases. So a lot of use cases, guys, in the Ansible is highly dependent on some of the concepts. Okay, where only Ansible doesn't gonna help you. You have to integrate Ansible with some other technologies. Okay, for example, in some use case, I would like to integrate Ansible with AWS Cloud. So even though there we use Terraform a lot, but I want some use case to be automated with the Ansible. Okay, so this guys, this topic is not there in 407 also. So I will add this topic also on the fly. Okay, so in this upcoming classes, I will show you how to use Ansible to automate some of the things in the AWS cloud. I'm talking about not about the automation of the internal services. I'm talking about from the Ansible code, we'll go and connect to the AWS cloud, or maybe other cloud, maybe GCP, for example, or Azure, maybe, for example, and launch some instance, set up some environment over there, something like this. So some of the requirement we have, and on those requirement, guys, there's some advanced concept on the Ansible called dynamic inventory. So in our curriculum, guys, even though if you go to 407, we have one topic called dynamic inventory, but very small, 1 or 2 pages they talk about the dynamic inventory. But here I would have to invest a lot of time in the dynamic inventory to create our own also from the scratch, because that is a core of one of the core important topic in the Ansible. Likewise, some of guys keep on asking me to discuss Ansible integrate with Docker, something like this. So we also solve those use cases. So why I'm discussing this, because you guys might have join this course to learn Ansible, that I highly appreciate, that everybody should know. But because it is one of the main tool in the DevOps world or in the automation world. But only just knowing Ansible and without knowing how to integrate Ansible with other tool like container, like cloud, or maybe XYZ tool, it won't help you to solve all the use case. And somehow in the future, you stuck. That's what I don't want. So if you are doing the training in Linux world, I want almost every use cases or challenges that you have in the future by the Ansible to be solved. Even though I'm going to show you some more tips and tricks and the approach. Okay, and after knowing that approach, even though any new kind of technology you want to integrate in the future with the Ansible, by using those approach, you can very easily also do those things also, right? So guys, this is a very high level discussion about the content. I don't want to invest much time here to go to this content by the Reddit. Why? Because we are very new in the Ansible, so I can't discuss about what is a playbook and what is rules and XYZ. But by the end of this program, all the content of 294 training that you guys enrolled on, all the control advanced COE paper that's called COE training, I can say, of 407 is also been completed. Plus, these use cases if I'm talking about is also been completed. Plus, I also want to I also want to um, ask you any use case that you feel you have in your industry that you think you have to solve with the help of Ansible. You can so also guys post this thing in my Q&A, or maybe personally in my LinkedIn. Somehow in some of the topic I will cover those content for you. So I'm pretty open. Even though we have a fixed time for this training program to be complete, but I am very okay if you guys are okay to give some extra time. Okay, in my last classes, to talk some more extra different use cases that can be solved with Ansible. Maybe you have a use case for Ansible with Jenkins, or I don't know, whatever use cases you have, we will definitely guys touch in this training. And when I say mean touch, I never mean touch here. Touch means we will implement here, we will solve, we will test, and we will finally implement. We'll do all the things. So one thing. Second thing from my side is um, uh, uh, according the way I designed this program, this training would be more than 95% practical or the hands-on. So whatever guys concept I discuss, every concept we're gonna implement practically by solving some of the one of the use case or multiple use cases. Okay, for example, if I go for dynamic inventory, very important topic in 407 training or Reddit 294, right? They have only introduced you dynamic inventory and just one command pre-created code they give you, and they give you to run it. That's all. Nobody talk about, okay, nobody talk about how the dynamic inventory to be constructed. But here we're gonna see those part also in detail. Okay, so we'll go like this. So 95% more than is a practical hands-on, and obviously 5% we to explain the architect, how the things were, what kind of use case solved by Ansible, and what kind of use case can't we can't use Ansible to solve those things. Okay, so there's one more information from my side. And second thing, guys, we will create a separate group for you. I think maybe most with Slack channel. So any kind of technical issues you have, guys, we have multiple different technical team volunteers or team members who will guys help you. So anytime guys you're stuck in some kind of practicals, we my team gonna help you. Almost all the problems they will solve to you. But if you think whatever answer given by them, or maybe some of the answer is not solved by them, you can directly guys connect with me somewhere, maybe in the training, or maybe in my LinkedIn profile. I will definitely guys answer your queries. Okay, and last thing before I go and start this training in the first day today. Okay, last thing guys, while this is the way guys I always follow in my online on my online training. That is guys, while doing this training, every day guys our training time would be around 1.5 hour. Depend guys upon the logical topic, maybe it go 1 hour 45 minutes also, and a little bit less also, depend upon the topic to topic. Okay, so I always guys take the Q&A in the last. Q&A in the last. So right now you guys may be posting any Q&A here, so I don't check also, because I just want to complete my topic, because what a question you have in your mind, there might be possibility maximum time in my further discussion it gonna I'm gonna touch this. So almost all the query has been solved, but otherwise if you think some of the query is not been solved, I will take in my Q&A after every day. So this is one more guys thing I'd like to tell you here. Okay, so that's all, guys. Now I would like to start the Ansible. That's from very zero, and I consider that you guys are very new in the DevOps. You guys are very new in the automation world, and this might be the first time you're listening this term called Ansible. So I would like to start this training from there. Okay. One more thing, guys. By chance, from last couple of week, I have some sore throat, right? So sometime it look my voice not look proper. Okay, so I just want to excuse before, right? uh, so because it sometimes it look like annoying, I know. But I'm trying my best to keep on speaking, so you won't miss your classes. But from last couple of weeks I have a bad sore throat, so I just want to initially just tell you. Okay, so that's what, guys, from initial very high level, instruction, or I don't know what you can say, policies of this training, right? So let me start, guys, from very zero. What exactly Ansible is? What can they do? Okay, so if I guys ask you, okay, why you want to learn Ansible? Okay, why you want to do learn Ansible? All right, or if I ask you where you gonna use the Ansible on your corporate world, or what kind of challenges you think it can be solved with the Ansible. Okay, or where you can fit the Ansible in your environment. Okay, mostly, and so normally in my classroom training, when I do conduct on and at your premises, guys, mostly mostly I get this answer: with the Ansible I will get the automation. So why I want Ansible? Because Ansible will automate the thing. So because I want automation, that is the reason I want Ansible. Or somebody also say because Ansible makes our tasks simple, or some one or two extra difference I also get from you guys. But their main key, main key, everybody talk about why we want Ansible, because I want automation. Okay, let me clear one thing before I go for automation. Let me be clear which kind of automation we are talking about, because there are lots of different kind of things available in the technological world where we can look for and where we can go for automation. Okay, so when I say automation here, so automation with respect to IT guys or admin guys or operations guys. What I mean by this, for example, let me take one simple example, then I come back to this topic again. So those by chance who don't know uh, which field I'm talking about, the automation. So for example, anybody who by chance work on Windows. Okay, so into Windows, for example, I'm going to create one directory here. So with this is my Windows command prompt, I write a command called mkdir, and let's say I'm going to create a directory called test123. So this one directory, I can say one folder we have created. Okay, or maybe anybody who by chance know Linux, so maybe can use mkdir command to create the directory. Okay, very simplest command I can say here, the mkdir command to create a folder or directory. Okay, so but guys, right now this is one single command we have, one single command we have. But technically, if you're working in any of the operating system, typically in the industry, we normally used to say are the servers. So in the server, if you want to do something, if you're in the server, you want to do something, right? You have to manually go to this black screen, normally known as terminal or the command prompt. Okay, and you have to write the command. Okay, so now depend, guys, what exactly you want to do. Do you want to create directory? We have a different command. Do you want to create a file? We have a different command. Do you want to install a software? Install software, we have a different command. Okay, do you want to install start some program? This is called services. For services, we have a different command. But whatever you do, guys, on the top of the OS, and whatever you do on the top of your server, for everything we have a different command available, or different programs available, normally known as commands available. Okay, so but right now, normally what we do as a IT guys, as a IT guys, we open this black screen, and let's say we have some requirement come up and we have to install a database software. So we install it by using some of the command. Okay, guys, again, understand here, the main key here is by using some of the command. And why I'm saying some of the command? Because OS to OS, the command vary. For example, if you say you want to install some software in the top of Windows, and normally in the Windows, you do double click, and double click, you install some software. There's a different point, but we don't like double click. Why? We again discuss in some minute. But normally we always refer or recommend to use a command. So in the Windows, if you want to install any software, then some of the command we have like a choco or chocolate. So chocolate is one command in the Windows through which we can install software. But if you use Red Hat system or CentOS or Fedora, is one kind of OS, okay, where we use yum command, yum. If you use Ubuntu as a Linux OS, there you can use apt-get command or maybe apt commands. So technically, if you want to do something on the top of the OS and the server, OS to OS, first of all, command vary. Second thing, you should know the command. And third, you have to manually type and run the command. But finally, guys, why are you running the command? Because you want to achieve something. Let's say I want to set up my database server. So let's say I want to install Oracle database or MySQL database. So I have to first install MySQL software. Then I have to start my MySQL services. Okay, guys, so these things is normally done by IT guys or admins guys or operations teams in your company. Technically this part is normally known as configuration. Configuration. So you normally talk to IT guys and say, I'm looking for a database server. Can you please configure database server for me? You can think in this way. You can say, I'm the PHP developer. I'm looking for some kind of web server. Can you please configure web server for me? So as a developer, I can test my code or PHP, something like this. Okay, so these IT operation guys will they will go open this black screen and then run some command to install the web servers, to start the web services, add some securities, do some performance tunings. Tons of things they do depend upon requirement to requirement. But this is known as configuration. So this is the guys term I just want to tell you here. I think most of guys might know, but because a lot of guys are very new here also in the technological world, so I'm trying to explain every term here. But guys, again, I want to tell you, this is the first day. My today intention is to give you the right use case of the Ansible, where we have to use Ansible, because I've seen a lot of guys are trying to use Ansible in the wrong use cases. Okay, and with the wrong knowledge also. So what I mean by this, by the end of today's class, at least you get this answer from me. What is the right use case and where we have to use Ansible and what exactly Ansible will do for you. Okay, but for me, it's a fantastic tool, very powerful tool, very intelligent tool. And why I'm saying intelligent, again, in half an hour, you come to know. Okay, so technically, as IT guys, you open the command line and manually keep on typing the commands. mkdir command directory, get file, install softwares, install services. So finally, you are doing configuration. But this configuration, it now your choice. You have to use this manual way. Okay, but if you use the manual way, if you have 4 or 5 things to do, then manual way would be okay. But sometimes if you do the configuration, hundreds and thousands of command we have to run in some sequence. First step this, then second that command, third this command, fourth this command. Thousands of command we have to run, not only once. Okay, we have to keep on running the same command again and again in all the OS, in all the servers. Because there's some kind of requirement come up in an environment where some team come to you and say, we have this server, please can you configure us? You configure it, give it back to them. They will do some testing there. They again terminate, something issue come up. They ask, can you create launch one more for me? Can you configure one more for me? So same step you have to run again and again. Or because there's 1,000 steps, and if you run manually this command, so there are a lot of guys chances to come to have the human error. Because we are human being guys, some command we miss or some command we might write wrong. Or again, because we are human being is always slow. So if you do all the configuration manually, it it become it makes the thing slower. Okay, and we are in the DevOps. Okay, and one of the feature of the DevOps, we want thing to be faster or agile also. So what is DevOps, guys? I'm not discussing today, but in upcoming class, I will give you the exact meaning of the DevOps. Okay, but technically, just try to think whatever we want to do. I want thing to be super fast. But manual guys give you error. Manual will give your final setup and configuration would be very slow. Because that easy reason, that is the reason we'll tell our human being, now don't do everything from your manually, or don't do everything from your hand. I want same thing of hundreds and thousands of command, same configuration I want to be configured and set up to be done, but I want not manual, I want everything to be automated. Okay, I want everything to be automated, and this is called automation. Okay, so guys, come back to my main point again here. Okay, so I think you guys get the idea. I'm mainly here talking about the automation in with respect to configuration, because there's a lot of other technical area also where we can do the automation. But in Ansible, whenever guys I say Ansible or these kind of tools, and if I say automation, I normally mean to say automation with respect to configuration. I want my web server, my database server, and whatever you know or you will know in the future, maybe creating a directory also. I don't want to create a directory manually. I want my creating directory is also one kind of configuration. I want that to be automated. Let's go automation. So when I say automation, I mean to say automation of configuration. Okay. Now I come back to our main topic. Okay. So main topic guys here is Ansible. And if I ask somebody why you want Ansible, because they say, or normally somebody say, because we have to do lots of configuration on the top of the OS and on the top of server, and we have to do everything manual. Manual. Manual configuration is slow and error prone also. So I want some way, some tool, some software who do the same configuration instead of the manual. We can go for automation. And because we want automation, that is the reason I want Ansible to be used. Okay, so here one glitch we have. Okay, so anybody who are here to learn Ansible for the automation. Okay, so I have one quick question, guys, to you. Okay, the quick question is right. Ansible, these are the tool very become famous in this 5 or 6 years, right? Just like last 4, 5 or 6 years, especially last 2 or 3 years more, these tools become very famous for automating your configuration part. Okay, but but the approach of automation of our configuration guys, we are using I think from last few decades. Okay, we always use automation from last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So automation is not new things. We already had or have this automation in place in our corporate world. So if you say Ansible help in automation, so I'm going to tell you guys, Ansible is a very new tool, very recently innovated or has been developed, incubated, I can say. Maybe last 5 or 6 or maybe 6, 7 years, we have this tool in our market, in our environment. Okay, but from last couple of decades, from 10 to 30 years or more, maybe more than 30 years, we already have or were using automation for the configuration. And the way we are automating our configuration till now are very matured, very matured, very stable. Okay, there is no such issue we had. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you guys here is, because we already have the automation of our configuration. I'm talking about what is configuration. I already explained you. Doing something on the top of OS, installing software, doing something, changing some conf file, installing services, XYZ, whatever guys creating file or folder also. Okay, if you do is called configuration, right? So those configuration in the industry, 99.9%, we never do, or I can say 19% we never do manual. We already have or had automation from last couple of decades. So why we are talking about that we have to use Ansible for the automation? It means, what I'm trying to prove you guys here is, it means Ansible come in the market not to solve the issue of the automation or the manual thing, or convert the manual to automation. Ansible should have something else in them. And that makes the Ansible or Ansible kind of tool very famous. Okay, so again, I'm trying to tell you here is, if you say I want to use Ansible for the automation, it means it means why are you going for Ansible? You already have some tools already with you who already have your environment, who help you to automate your configuration. Okay, so if automation is your requirement, don't go for automation. Don't go for Ansible. Why you are investing your time or money to learning the Ansible or implement the Ansible? Because obviously it can take some time. They keep using the same tool what you have already, that you already mature and you are using from last couple of years or decades. It means Ansible is not only, we want automation, that's for sure, but Ansible is not only helping you in the automation. There's something else Ansible provide you. What's that something else that makes Ansible very unique tool? Okay, I normally refer that power of Ansible is called intelligence. It's not the official term from the Ansible. I normal uh, whatever the concept I'm going to explain you. I normally refer that concept is some kind of intelligence. So apart from automation, Ansible give some extra intelligence that my older tool from last 10, 20, 30 years, they are providing the automation, but that automation, so that intelligence, those tool don't have. What is this intelligence, guys? After you understand, guys, this intelligence, you come to see, if you guys especially are very new in Ansible, you see is wow, it's a very fantastic concept. And that is the reason, guys, why almost every industry, wherever we have the configuration, I think every industry we have a configuration, because every industry we have the OS and the server. And if you have a server, you have to go for configuration. And if you have the configuration, you have to use automation. But only automation is not enough. We have to add some intelligence. What I mean by intelligence, I am explaining in 10 minutes. But before this, guys, I am just want to explain you first what you had for the automation from last couple of years. So you can, guys, very easily relate what I'm talking about. Okay, so technically, if you want to run anything, like if you want to configure anything, like creating file, installing some software, installing some services, rather than you write your own commands and manually run it the way I did today. Very simple command, just want to demonstrate very small by using this command. Okay, but for installation we have different command. For starting we have setting up or starting some services, we have different command. Everything we have a different command available. So it's called manual thing. If you write and run manual, but I said manual is not good, take a lot of time. So we want automation. And how, guys, we achieve the automation? Simple, right? If you want to write a command, not by you, somebody will run the command for you. That's called automation. And that automation, guys, we can achieve by writing the code. What you have to do, you have to open the file. In the file, something like this, for example, this Windows, I open one notepad here. Okay, and all the command that you manually type, just type here only for once. I would like to create directory, I would like to create a file, I want to install MySQL database server. Okay, install. So whatever respect to command, guys, I'm just writing some English statement here. I have to start my services of my databases. So all the commands, if you write in a file, this file become program file. So your company admins or IT guys has to create this file only for once. Okay, and finally, guys, this file is normally known as a script. So either you can say it's a program file, but typically this kind of file is normally known as script. And what is script content? The code. What is code content? All the commands, whatever normally you type manually, they put in the code. They put in the code. So what is meant for this? First time, your engineers has to give some time here to create the script. After they create the script, in the future you have to just keep on running. You don't have to again keep on typing the command again. If you have thousand time requirement come up to configure server, 1,000 time, 1,000,000 time, you just keep on running this code. You keep on running this program, or I can say the script. The script. So technically, if you want automation, okay, technically you have to create a code, or I can say technically you have to create a script. And this is the approach from last few decades or last 20, 30 years, every industry using for automating for automating their configuration. Okay, but if you want to create a script, you have to use some language. So there are multiple languages available for creating a script. Maybe you can use the Perl as a language. Somebody use PowerShell. Somebody use Batch script. Somebody use Shell script. So company requirement, guys, multiple different tools or language, I can say, available to create the script. Or nowadays, a lot of guys company using Python or Ruby language to create the script. Okay, so these are some of the languages we use to write the code, finally to write the script. And what a script will do? Configuration. How? Not manual, automate. That's what we want, right? but it's not a new thing. This scripting language, like especially if I talk about bash shell scripting or Perl scripting or Python, maybe these are there from last 10, 20, 30 years at our disposal in a company, and we and almost all the IT guys are very much comfortable with this script, and they know this concept in depth, and whatever they want to configure, they they normally use a good practice, and good practice say if you want to configure small thing, don't do it manual, create a script and do the things. Why? I will explain this concept. There's a good this concept called management. This is called create documents. What I mean by this in my upcoming class, I will explain. But it a good practice in the corporate. We say whatever I want to configure, first of all, don't do manually, or do automation. And for the automation, because you guys are good in shell scripting or Perl or Python, or write a Python, Perl or shell scripts and achieve your configuration with the automation. One time you have to give invest the time in writing the code, but in the future the thing will be very faster because you write the code, you write the script with the speed of computer. So one click, 1 second, entire system has been configured. Okay, again, notice one thing: we don't have to write only one or three or four commands, right? We have to write thousands and thousands of lines of code. Okay, so just put this point in your mind. If you have only one or two commands we have to run, so maybe we can run manually, but here I'm talking more about hundreds and thousands of lines of code or commands we have to run. Okay, so guys, I think I'm very clear here. My point is, if you want to achieve automation, automation is already there in our company environment. So if automation is already there with the help of shell scripting, and they're very mature, we know shell script by for example. So why we need Ansible? Okay, why? That's what, guys, the main topic for today. Okay, and in some guys, you understand the power Ansible that I used to say, or that I always say. Ansible has some extra thing that your scripting language, Python or shell scripting, never provide you. And I normally coin this term is called intelligence. What is that? Okay, so you can think in this way. Okay, let me give you one scenario. If you talk about any company environment or any company lab, I can say data center. Okay, normally we have a very kind of different environment. We have, I can say, heterogeneous servers we have. What I mean by this? Okay, 1 minute. Okay, what I mean by this? For example, in company, one of the operating system you have or one of the server you have maybe Red Hat Linux version 6. One of the server you have maybe Red Hat version 7. One of the server you have maybe Red Hat version 8. Some of the server you might have Windows or maybe have Ubuntu, for example. So multiple different servers or operating system you have. Okay, and let's say we have some requirement come up, and the requirement is we contact to our IT and say we have to do some kind of testing. So these are four different server we are giving to you. Okay, can you please help me, and can you please configure these servers? These servers. Okay, so your IT guys or IT teams or operations guys, what they do? Simple. They will go to the system, and now they have two approach they can use to configure the servers. First, they will go and get the command prompt, and after get the command prompt, they will manually write the command the way I write here. I told you guys manual is not a good thing, so let's forget about the manual. Second approach they have is they can write a script. Because maybe they have a requirement to configure database server or maybe mail server or LDAP server, whatever guys you know. They will have to configure, or I can say setup here. Setup here. Okay, so they can go for automation. Okay, and for the automation, let's say these IT guys say from last couple of years, like 30 years, I am working on the Python or Perl. And let's say we are working on the Python, or maybe we are working on the shell script. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's create one script, one script in the Python or shell scripting, and run the script here. So automatically, guys, all the thousand line to be run for us. It's called automated. Okay, but guys, challenge we have here is, if this uh, guys has created a script or program file or code for you. Okay, the bad thing about these languages are, your old tools or old languages are the one of the best, I can say one of the worst features they have in the Python or in the shell scripting is these languages work in a concept called imperative language. Imperative language. So if you write a code in Python, Perl, shell scripting, PowerShell, XYZ, and why we have to write the code? Obviously, answer is automation. That's the only main reason I can say we have. Okay, so they work in a concept called imperative language. And what I mean by imperative language is, right, if you wanted to run a code for the Red Hat version 6 operating system. Okay, so in the code, in the code, you have to tell two things. You have to write two things: what to do and how to do. And guys, here how is the one of the worst thing I'm going to explain you right now. It means, for example, I will go and write the Python code, or maybe let's just shell code, and I want my this code to be run on the top of Red Hat 6, so that let's say I'm looking for to install some software. Let's say I want to install a software called Firefox. Okay, so understand one thing, guys. Here, if you are a Python developer and you're a genius Python developer, and somebody given this task to you, that you have to write a code for Red Hat version 6, even though you are a genius Python developer, it is impossible. Again, I'm repeating, guys, it is impossible to write a code for Red Hat version 6 for doing some setup or doing some configuration. because because as a Python developer, you should know how to do the things on the top of Red Hat. For example, in the Red Hat, if you want to install any software, okay, you should know about the Red Hat. In Red Hat version 6, we have to use a command called yum. So if your developer doesn't know anything about Red Hat 6, and they don't know the yum is a one command in Red Hat 6 to install the software, if you don't know how to do what exactly we are looking for, what we are looking for is what to do, installing the software. So if we know we have to install the software, but if you don't know how to install the software, which command to use to install the software, it is impossible to write any script. Again, guys, I'm repeating, anybody who have done any scripting in any of the language like shell scripting, PowerShell, Python, something like this, if you don't know your OS respective commands, it is very impossible to write the script. So this is the reason I told you, if you're a Python shell script developer for automation, right, you should know what actually you want to achieve, and for achieving this part, for installing the software, for example, for installing software, how to achieve it, which command to use. Okay, so that is the reason, guys, I'm saying Python or shell scripting or this kind of language are known as imperative language. It means whatever you want to achieve, you should know what and how. Okay, but let's say by chance this Python or shell script developer are well versed with Red Hat version 6, and they write the entire code because they know all the command. For example, they know in Red Hat version 6 the command is yum to install software, and Red Hat version 6, if you want to start some services or some program, we have a command called service. So everything working good, no challenge. Okay, but guys, there might be requirement. Red Hat can come with some new operating system. And guys, this is the one real use case, guys, I'm explaining to you what that I was working on one company. Let me reveal the name of the company is Samsung R&D. Maybe some of the guys might be here from Samsung R&D. So I think when Red Hat launched Red Hat version 7, I think 5 or 6 years ago, I believe. Okay, so and guys, if you talk about the Red Hat Linux operating system, okay, so they have the version called Red Hat version 4, then Red Hat version 5, then 6, then 7, and now a recent version is 8 we have. Okay, but till guys, in Red Hat versions 4, 5, and 6, and I'm talking about this Linux OS, for installing the software, the command is yeah. But any software, if you want to start some program or call services like database services, web services, we have the command call service. So till this version, okay, we have the command call service. But I think 5 or 6 years ago, when they changed the version or they come up with a new version called Red Hat or version 7, version 7, again, if you want to install the command or install the software, the command is still yeah. But in Red Hat version 7, guys, they don't support a service command. In Red Hat version 7, they support a command called systemctl. Guys, maybe a lot of guys are new here in Red Hat. Don't worry. So that is the reason, guys, I'm giving some example here what this command is doing for you. But by chance, who know Linux, they know this command very well. But from Red Hat version 7, they don't support the service command as such, and they say if you want to start the service, we have a systemctl command. So this is one command example, guys. But in OS, there's hundreds and thousands of things we have to do and we have to achieve. And from RAID 1.6 to 7, when they come the new version, right, lots of command what they had, either they removed or they changed the meaning or changed the options. It means it means I was working on some of the use case of the Samsung R&D, I think Bangalore office, Marathali Road. Okay, so what they have some kind of services. Okay, and those services they have a some server they configure, and for configure those server, okay, they have some script already created. Maybe Perl script or Shell script, I forgot the which is language they use, but some language they had where they create the script. The good thing is the script helping them to automate. So whenever new thing requirement come up, one click they run the script, entire server configure. That's a great thing. Okay, and the good thing about this script is the guys who are working on the script, they are very well versed with this language, they are very comfortable with the language. And guys, understand one thing, whenever I say a term simple, guys, is always with respect to with respect to. Okay, for example, maybe you guys are so much comfortable in Linux because you guys might use Linux more than Windows. So for example, in my case, I'm very much comfortable in Linux. So if I want to do something in Windows, I always stuck. But I am very comfortable in Linux. So for me, Linux is simple. But for the entire world, or maybe for other guys, maybe Linux is very complex. So guys, simplicity is come always with respect to if you how well versed and how much you're comfortable with respect to environment and with respect to your operating system. So I can say these Samsung guys are very much comfortable with Python or maybe Perl or Ruby or shell scripting languages. For them, writing the code is no big deal. And why they're adding the code, they want to do that automation. Okay, but the challenging they are facing is right. The challenge they're facing is okay. Right now they was they have one version called 4, then 5 come up, 6 come up, and new version come up. All the command 4, 5, 6 version was same, no change in the commands. Same. Okay, and guys, if you keep on using the script from last few years, maybe version 4 was, I think when I was started my career in 2002 and 5, the time they had a version of Reddit 4. So guys, normally if you keep on using the script from last 10 years or 12 years, 15 years, your script becomes so much mature. There would be no bugs in the script because we keep on enhancing the issues or the bug on the script. So your script become mature for them, guys. They are very much well versed with the script. For them, it's so simple, and because they are the script, so it helping them to automate. So everything work good, but the challenge come up, guys, when Reddit announce Red Hat version 7. And these guys, again guys, this story again about Samsung R&D, or the use case of the Samsung R&D. When these guys wanted to upgrade to 7 in some of the environment or some of the business lines over there, okay, want to upgrade to the version 7, what they find, guys, they find they find same script they are well versed with, same script that's so simple for them, same script to help them to automate, and same script that's so much matured over time. Okay, complete script failed. The entire script failed. And why they fail? Because script guys always work on a concept of imperative language. And what is imperative language? In the imperative language, guys, you have to tell how to do. Means in the script, you have to technically write every command. Because they are the script, you can use variables, if, else, for, while, function, the normal things of the language you can write here. But if you don't know the yum command, if you don't know service command, if you don't know system serial command, your script won't work for the configuration. For the configuration. Okay. And now, because in the older script, because somewhere they use service command, and now Red Hat 7 doesn't support service command, so that script, that part will fail. Because they are looking for system serial command, but they don't have system serial command because they still have the old command. They fail. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. A script help you to automate the thing, but script never help you to detecting the new commands. If the new version come up, they never help you in detecting that something changed in the baseline of the OS. So I can say this kind of scripting who help you on automating, but this kind of scripting never work as an intelligence. They're not at all intelligent. Whatever you write inside the code, they will do. So they are very much, you can think it, they're very much like a hard code. Whatever you ask them run the yum command, they run. Run the service command, they run. But if you ask them run the service command and that OS doesn't support service command, they fail. That's all. So it's like a very hard coded. So they they don't behave as an intelligence. Okay, and guys, this is just only the it's not only the story of version 6 to 7. Even though maybe last year Reddit come with version 8, or they also they changed a lot of command. For example, Reddit 8, they say don't use yum command. We nowadays support more DNF command. Like this, or like anybody who know partition in the Linux, so they say we don't support part prop command, we have a udiv adm shuttle command. They change. Okay, so again, if you have a script updated in version 7 and new version come up, lots of commands in change. And change. And this is only the story of Red Hat, right? But if you ask your your Python developers or shell scripting, they are so much mature. But if you have some kind of heterogeneous environment like this, some OS is written 6, some OS in the company is written 7, some is 8, some is Ubuntu, some is Windows, some is Debian. Okay. So technically, if you have a requirement to configure database server or the web server or XYZ, okay, motto is single. Motto is single. I want, my goal is simple, single. I would like to install the software. This is the only goal we have. Okay, and for installing software, we need a OS. So these are the OS, different versions, different companies. But the issue, guys, in the OS we have is every OS has their own respective command for doing the similar thing. Okay, for example, in Red Hat 6, I want to install, let's say, Firefox software. So Firefox is Firefox. You use in Windows, you use in Ubuntu, or you use in Red Hat 8. Firefox browser is same as look and feel and users wise, they're same. By installing Firefox in Red Hat 6, we have yum command. And Red Hat 8, now they support yum, but they are supporting more DNF command. In Ubuntu, we have aptget command. In Windows, chocolatey command. In Debian or some other system, we have zapper command. Or in Mac, you have brew or homebrew command. So just for one thing, but installation is one thing, guys, like creating folder, files, open the file, edit the file, download software. Okay, start services, lots of things we have to do, guys, on the top of the OS. But OS to OS, like in this kind of environment, because every company has a heterogeneous environment, multiple different versions and OS they have. it means it means the developer who are helping you in the terms of automation, so that your configuration can be automated. That's our final motto. Okay, but the developer, let's say you are writing the code in Python. Okay, this Python developer either has to sit together with the Red Hat version 6 guys, and these guys keep on telling that here we have a yum command, use this command. But guys, it's not practically possible, guys. They're two different teams sometime, not always, and very harder to work between two teams. Or second thing is, these guys who are writing the scripting code for you have to first learn Red Hat 6. New version come up, again they learn. New version come up, again they learn. And after learning, they have to again change the code. And guys, understand one thing, writing the new code might be sometimes simple. Changing the code is very dangerous. Some kind of bug might be might be exist there. Okay, so very hard. So okay, you can think in this way also, right? If you ask in your team, if you ask in the company, you might have 100 different kind of OS environment. But we don't find, guys, one single guy or one single Python or shell script developer in a company who know all the OS. But yeah, if you have some guy in your company who are great in Python or shell scripting and who know all the OS, who are good in writing the code very faster. Okay, if any new version change in the market, they cop up with the new version with the new command and update the code without any bug. It look like it look like imaginary or maybe not practical possible. So like there's a lot of use case issues we have. Okay, that is the reason, guys, I'm keep on talking about here is I want automation. But the way we are using the automation from last couple of decades, we keep on using, or maybe still we are, some company I've seen, we're still using imperative languages. And one of the bad thing about the imperative language is they are not intelligence. Okay, what I mean by intelligent, let me explain one more way, then we go for Ansible, right? But guys, can you hold for a second, please? 1 second, please. Can you hold? So uh, one single conclusion. I want my I understand one thing, guys, from the starting of the day, I am only talking about automation with respect to configuration. Because this scripting language we use for only for one purpose. I'm mostly Python scripting or shell scripting or PowerShell are for configuring, or are, I can say, setup up of our servers. So I'm talking about automation of the configuration. But the issue in the scripting is they are embedded, means they don't know how to do. Okay, we have to hard code the command in the code. That this is the command you to use in Red Hat to install software. That's what. But these guys, one more language in the market, or they one more approach, I can say, come in the market, and that approach is called declarative language. Okay, the good thing about the declarative language is you have to only tell what to do. How to do, you don't have to tell them. These language has inbuilt intelligence. They automatic find how to do. So there's one more kind of language in the market. Okay, and that language is called declarative language, and one of the example of declarative language is Ansible. And Ansible is not only tool, we have some other competitor also Ansible, but they're the computer, but the final motto are same. Okay, one of the good example is Puppet, or second example is Ceph, Solstack or Fabric, and lots of other examples. So, but these are the three top tool in the market. Where so some company use Ceph, some company use Puppet, some company use Ansible. Nowadays, I've seen a lot of companies migrating to Ansible. They're different point, but again, these tools are again very much mature. I worked in this tool again a lot. Multiple company I implemented this tool, Ansible also, so I can know the internals of this tool. Sometime if you want to discuss something about different Ansible with Puppet and Ceph, I will talk on this tool. Is CHEF, Ceph, CEPH is also one tool from Reddit. It is not the automation tool; it is the storage tool. So by chance, if anybody know CEPS, it is a different tool. It is about storage. So I'm talking about CHEF, Ceph. Okay, but here, yeah, this training is more Ansible. So Ansible is a tool, or I can say for some time it is a one kind of language, I can say. So because this is language, so we have to write a code here. The code here. Okay, but the great thing about code is this code work in an approach called declarative language. Means the beautiful thing about the code is you have to tell what you want to achieve. That's all. Guys, it is something like this. I'll write a code in the Ansible. The code would be like something like this. I will tell my Ansible, please, something like this. Go and install database server for me. That's all. Something like this. Obviously, this is an English statement I write here, but my approach of writing the code finally, when I start writing the code in the Ansible, would be like this. And then Ansible, please go and set up the database server for me, or install the database server for me. Okay, or I can say Ansible, please go and start a service for me. Ansible, can you please go and install Firefox for me? Okay, so good thing about the Ansible is right that I can differentiate you in a minute. Here I'm asking the Ansible what to do. I'm asking install Firefox. That's all. The beautiful thing about Ansible is automatic Ansible. Obviously, I have to write a code here in the language that Ansible support. Again, that language is again very simple to use. Anybody can learn it. So, guys, if you are not from the programming background, don't worry. The way we are going to write a code in Ansible is so simple that anybody can learn very easily. So, writing the code in Ansible is again, anybody who by chance know Python, it is 100 times or 1,000 times more simpler than Python also. Okay, so writing this code again is so simple, but that's not the important point here. The important point here is after writing the code or the program file, okay, the good thing about the Ansible is, okay, you don't have to tell the Ansible my base system is Red Hat 8 or my base system is Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Okay, same code. Guys, can you hold for a second, please? Sorry, same code, guys. If you copy here, or I can say run here, okay, Ansible is so intelligent, they automatic figure out and say, hey, I know you are Red Hat. And I know you are Red Hat, and I know because I'm intelligent tool in the Red Hat. If I want to install the software, the command is dnf or yum. But same code without changing anything if you run on the top of Ubuntu. And even though, guys, you don't have to tell my developers who write this code that you're going to write the code on the top of Red Hat or on the top of Ubuntu. Okay, you have to just tell your developer who's going to write this code that you have to write the code in the Ansible that will help you to install services, start services, install Firefox, or get folder files, something like this. But whenever you run this code, okay, you don't have to tell the code that this base OS where we are running the code is Ubuntu Linux. And so it's so intelligent, the automatic figure out that my base OS is Ubuntu, and automatic, guys, Ansible will call the respective command, and Ansible will say, I know about you and I know your command is apd get. So Ansible automatically call this command and install the software for you. So you. So technically, what exactly we're doing here? We are telling our Ansible to do something. Now this called declaration. So I'm declaring my Ansible, do this, do this, do this. You can think in this way. You have a one team of 4 or 5 guys, and you have one manager. Manager has to instruct the team or declare the team that I am the manager and I want you guys perform this. And how you perform, that you're intelligent because you're a part of team. So you know how to do the thing. So I am the manager, I am giving this to. So here guys, we are the manager as a human being, and our team member is Ansible. And we tell the Ansible, I want please go to this OS and install the Firefox. We go to this OS, create a folder. Go to this OS, create the file. Go to this OS, open the file, change something there. Okay, go to this cloud, do there. Go to Docker, do there. Right. So guys, whatever you think in the terms of configuration, you you guys are from big data Hadoop, you're from cloud, you're from container, Kubernetes, DevOps, Docker, Linux, Windows, network devices. Okay, wherever you think we have to run a command, or wherever you think we have to do some setup or configuration. Okay, there Ansible you can use. And now guys, Ansible becomes so mature, almost everything, every OS, every platform that exists in the market, Ansible support this. And mostly they are very much mature. Okay, and beautiful thing again. Okay, guys, when I start writing the code, your code looks something like this. Ansible go install the service. Ansible go install for Firefox. And guys, if you see here in this code, even though it's not actual code, but if you try to see in this code, I can say this is kind of like English language. I can say this is a kind of pseudo code, but finally your code looks something like this. But if you guys notice in this code, okay, I am not writing anything. This code is only gonna run in Red Hat 8 or Ubuntu or Windows. Second important thing is, okay, I haven't write any yum command or mkdir command or touch command or something like this. Okay, as a developer who are going to configure something for the automation, I'm just writing what I want to do. How I will give this complete responsibility to the Ansible. Ansible is, I'm giving this responsibility to you. Whichever you OS, somebody gonna run this code of your code on those OS, or to find out about this OS. Okay, how? With your intelligence. And guys, that is the reason, guys, I normally use the term intelligence here. But how Ansible is intelligent, and how they auto find their respective command, this will be guys discussion. I will go in very detail in my upcoming class when I talk about the concept of facts. Okay, so I will tell you guys, or maybe modules or some other things. Okay, so in my upcoming class, maybe mostly tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I will, when I take this topic about the Ansible, you automatically understood, guys, the core of the Ansible, how and why they are intelligent. Because maybe in today's class, sometime somebody also ask me, what if Red Hat 9 come up, for example, or any new version of Red Hat come up, just for example. Okay, does Ansible also auto find this thing for you? Okay, and how, if yes or no, and why or why not? So I'm not guys taking this question right now. That's a park aside this question for today. But when I take this topic, you automatically get the answer yes or no both from my side. So I'm not addressing this question if somebody has in the mind. Right now, guys, I just want to talk about the power of Ansible. So so two things, guys, I just want to prove you the way I started. Okay, why we need Ansible? For simple and automation. If this is your answer, so we don't need Ansible. We already have a scripting tool in place. But if your requirement is something like this, okay, again, this is the requirement of Samsung also. Like this. Okay, right now we have version 6 and 7 come up. Maybe I ask my developer to again learn the 7, again change the entire code. It will take with a lot of bugs, guys, or and consume a lot of time. They have to first learn other things also. Or rather than we again change the entire code, take a take a intelligent decision. And the intelligent decision is is instead we write some kind of imperative language like Perl, Python, Ruby, or Shell script or PowerShell, right? Let's use a tool like Ansible. Okay, look, tool like Ansible here. It means if any new version come up, I won't have to focus now on updating the code. Same code will work in Reddit 8 also. Or maybe we have to take a decision. I have to do something on the top of Ubuntu. I want to leave the Reddit. I want to use both the OS version, Reddit or Ubuntu also. Same code will work on both the OS, or maybe in Windows also. Maybe small tweak you can do, but that tweak also we can automate. I will tell you in upcoming classes. But everything 100% to be automated, and by taking this great decision. And guys, that's what guys Samsung R&D has guys done. I think after 6 version, so in that particular project I'm talking about, they migrate to some of the tool. Either they use Ansible, Puppet, or Ceph. They're different company tools, but the core of all the tools are exactly the same. Okay, so guys, if I finally conclude, if you want uh, to manage your configuration, guys, this topic is known as configuration management. In simple term, it's called CM. So if your requirement is to manage the configuration, we have two different ways. One is manual, that we don't normally like. One, we have automation. Okay. Now in the automation, we have two ways. One, either you can go for older method called imperative language, sorry. Because when I say automation, guys, automation you can't achieve without code. It is impossible, guys, in any of the environment you go, not in configuration. If you go to any other technological area, whenever you heard this term automation, it means some kind of code and program running there, which of the language they are, but they are running there. So automation, we have to run a code or write a code. Now your approach would be either you can go for imperative or you can go for declarative. Declarative. But here you tell what and how. But here declare, guys, you just tell what exactly you want. How they will automatically find for you. Automatically guys find for you. And there's the power of the Ansible. Okay. So technical guys, the conclusion for today's class is Ansible is a tool, or I can say Ansible is a software. This software has their own personal language through which we are going to write a code. Which language they have, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will tell you the language name, which language or what the syntax of the language. There's a different point when we start writing the code. Okay. But the approach or the way we go to write a language is a very different approach. Very different approach is a declarative approach. That's what guys we are going to do. Okay. And guys, nowadays this concept is very much famous, guys. Not in Ansible or configuration management, guys. If you go to other area also, this idea of declarative approach or declarative language has become so famous. Even though, guys, normally if you go to mobile app developers, so these are guys have to write lots and lots of code for us. These are pure development field. Mobile developers or website developers. So these are pure core tool for a core a domain for the developers. Okay, so they use Java, Kotlins, or JavaScript, or multiple different languages they use. But nowadays, guys, in this area also, we recommend a lot of declarative approach. Okay, for example, if you write a code for Android, we use Java language. You write a code for iOS mobile phone, we have to use Objective-C or Swift language. For Android, maybe you use Kotlin language. But if you ask, does Swift language we can use for Android? Most people know. Can we use Java for iOS? Most people know. But nowadays, guys, we start using a declarative language. What this means? Okay, write code for once, something like this. For once, write code once and run in multiple environments. So one code, one language, one time write. It support here also, it support here also, and new version come of these guys, they also support. And one of the guys good declarative language for the mobile app development, even though this is not the mobile app development class, just to because we guys are very much comfortable with mobile phones. So one of the great tool from the Google is called Flutter. Flutter is a tool. Recently I delivered one training in open batch and Flutter, so that I introduce you one tool, one language, one framework, core for all the languages or for all the platform of the mobile phone. Same thing here. So if you want to automate your configuration management and write code for once, and not only once, okay, here also how, you don't have to tell how and which command to run. They auto find for us. Okay, so then Ansible is a software or a tool, okay, we can use. And they have their own language, own syntax that we'll start from tomorrow. Okay, so guys, in one line, I just want to tell you, Ansible is meant for config management tool. So this is the one single definition of Ansible. Ansible is declarative tool for configuration management. Okay, and one last thing in 2 minutes, then we'll conclude today's class, right? A lot of things guys has a confusion, right? Can you use Ansible for installing the operating system? Okay, can you use Ansible to installing the operating system like Windows or like Mac or like like Linux operating system? My answer is yes. Yes, but it's not good practice to use Ansible. Okay, because if you want to install any operating system, by chance this term is known as provisioning of the OS. And there's a lot of tool available in the market. They are so much mature in installing or provisioning the operating system. So I recommend to use those tools. But my answer is not no. We can use Ansible if you want. I show one of the demo in my upcoming class where I am going to use Ansible to provisioning the operating system like Linux or Windows, something like this. But that time I will explain you. So there's some drawback. Sorry, I can. I'm so sorry, guys, because of my sometimes my voice. But I'm going to that time I will explain you why Ansible is not good in proving the OS. Okay, so technically, guys, I just want to make it very clear. Ansible is one single tool for one purpose, that is called configuration management. That's all. And if you want to achieve something else in the coding or automation part, somehow we can do it, but it won't give you all the flexibility and all the facility. I show you those demo. I will explain that point in time what I mean by this. But for CM, Ansible is one of the great tool that I highly recommend. Highly recommend. So as today's class is purely a conceptual class, but it's very important, guys, to know so that you can understand the power of Ansible. But from tomorrow onward, guys, 95% class would be pure practical. From even though, guys, when I started tomorrow class, I will directly jump to the practical. But guys, for only requirement we have from tomorrow class is almost all the practical, guys. I am going to use my base OS to be Red Hat version 8. So by chance, guys, in my laptop, I have one Oracle VirtualBox, and on the top of Oracle VirtualBox, I have one OS Red Hat version 7 or 8 installed. Okay. Obviously, guys, this is not the Linux class, so I don't want to invest your and my time to show you how to install the VirtualBox and how to install the Red Hat version 8 or 7. Okay. But by chance, anybody who are new in Linux, so we'll guys share you the software VirtualBox, share you the software for Red Hat version 8, and plus we'll share you guys my video. Okay, where guys you can go and through and it will guide you how to install a Red Hat on the top of VirtualBox on the top of Linux or Mac. That's all. Okay, but for tomorrow onwards, guys, I will take as a very prerequisite that you have the Red Hat version 8 installed. Almost 99% practical, guys, we are going to do on the Red Hat. But for some testing, I might use Ubuntu also. I might use Red Hat 7 also, to show you the same code can run in and without changing in multiple OS. Okay, this one. But by chance, anybody who by chance comfortable on the cloud, like AWS, GCP, so you can also, guys, without installing the OS on your laptop, you can launch the OS on the top of the cloud and you can test it. Okay, but there you might stuck some difficulty initially. There's the issue of key, even though we can solve, and I'll show you how to use the key. By chance, those who know cloud, they know SS key, so I'm addressing to those guys. So I'm also going to use a key in the future for connecting in Ansible, but I can't go in initial classes. So I suggest, finally, I suggest, I want you also build your lab in your laptop. Okay, I will give you one ISO file of Reddit 8, around 6 GB in size, actually. Okay, then install it and test it. And guys, for demo, at least we need 2 OS. In the future, we're going to use multiple OS. Okay, because in first OS we are going to write a code, and those code we will apply in these OS remotely. Okay, so guys, don't worry, tomorrow first I will explain you how these guys connected, how different VM connected with the networking. I will explain you architecture. It won't take a lot of time. Very simple architecture Ansible has. And then I will directly jump to the command line. So guys, for tomorrow, when I'm going to start Ansible from very zero, okay, I want, if you can get this setup ready, if you also want to follow along with me. Okay, and plus, if you know very basic command Linux, just open the terminal and run basic command like ifconfig or ping command, just for testing. So if you know, that's good. Otherwise, I will share some more basic command video extra to you, those guys who are new in Linux, so they will be update their skills. So guys, that's all about today's class. I just want to conclude. Any query if you have, guys, you can ask me, but this is a prerequisite for tomorrow class. Timing would be again 9:15, and any query if you have, you guys can ask me. Yes, Avinash, guys, our Ansible class for every day, from Tuesday to Friday. Means 4 days a week, not Monday, not Saturday, Sunday. Ansible class would be every day from Tuesday to Friday, same timing at 9:50. So how to solve the practical of Pankaj, in network integration, what exactly you want to integrate a network with? So are you asking here? Are you asking here to write a code in the Ansible that we integrate with Cisco or Nexus devices or some kind of Juniper devices? If yes, in this class we can't, but I will give you the path, or the way I'm going to give you approach in some of practical. You will get the idea. So if you are comfortable in Cisco, because here maybe most guys are not comfortable in Cisco, okay, but there's some practical will come in the future. They will give you the complete idea how to integrate with the network appliances. Okay. Yes, guys, we have some process of attendance. I will explain, guys, in my tomorrow class what kind of process we do for the attendance. We'll update you guys tomorrow. Okay, and recording of the class, I think Preeti has updated you already. We don't provide the recording, but yeah, by chance due to some reason, if you might miss the classes, so I think 2 or 3 totality recording we will provide you. So we'll update you guys in your respective groups to whom you have to connect to get the recording. Not all the recording. By chance you think if some work come up, you can provide that day recording to you. Yes, Raj, you can use Google Cloud also. So any cloud. My intention is I need the OS. So you can use GCP Cloud or Azure or Alibaba Cloud or AWS, whatever you feel like. Yes, Ayush, you can connect me or the LinkedIn. You just message any issue you come up. First, I suggest put in your respective Slack group. We'll provide guys Slack group to you. I 99% query, I believe it will be solved there. If not, though, so guys, please then definitely guys connect to me on my LinkedIn. From last 2 weeks, I am not properly active on my LinkedIn, but my tomorrow from today only, guys, I again still again become active. So now you guys can send me the query on LinkedIn. What does the declarative language work in the backend? Avijit, in my upcoming class, I will talk you in very detail about why Ansible is intelligent and what kind of code, what kind of code they run behind the scene, or how they construct this. Even though maybe I can go to that level, you can create your own modules in Ansible also. We might try to touch at that level also. So what is the difference between Jenkins and the Ansible? Ghana, maybe your name. Okay. Okay, this is very two different tools. Jenkins is purely for CI/CD. Ansible is purely for CM. What is CM? Now you know. What is CI/CD? Again, is a long topic to be discussed. Maybe I will try to touch somewhere in my classes what exactly use of CI/CD. Okay, so means continuous integration, continuous declaration, or sorry, continuous deployment. Okay, or continuous delivery maybe. So, but yeah, both the tool work together. In most of cases, guys, we have to call Ansible code from the Jenkins. So maybe Ghana, I will try to touch base on the Jenkins in some of my topic and explain you how and where you can use Ansible with Jenkins. But Jenkins is a pure different tool. There's no link. Both tools come into the umbrella of DevOps, but Jenkins solve CI/CD, Ansible solve CM. What is CM? We discussed already. Ajmal, what your requirement is, if you can talk to my team and update them what exactly your requirement is, they will definitely help you. How to integrate Jenkins and Ansible? Yes, Pankaj, I will try to explain you here. By chance, everybody might not know Jenkins, but I'll give the idea. Pretty straightforward, nothing so much complex, but I'll give you the idea surely how we can integrate Jenkins with Ansible. uh, how to enhance knowledge in the YAML. Sandeep, in my class, I am going to explain you YAML in very detail because the way we going to write the code Ansible is purely YAML. So don't worry. In my class, we will touch a lot of things about YAML as a language. Are you going to launch Flutter? I don't think so, Saurabh. We will launch Flutter again. At least for 1 year, no. But I don't think so also. Let's see. Can we integrate data science with Answer? Yes, Zoya. Yes, there's a lot of use cases where you have to use Ansible to, I can say it, for setting up the environment for machine learning or the deep learning. So what I mean by this, I will explain in my upcoming classes. Not in this training. I think you all guys are from my earth. So after you guys become comfortable in Ansible, I will show you in my data science class in the earth how we can integrate. uh Sapnan asked me, we have to just write the code, answer once, and then come. Yes, that's what, guys. That's Spandan, that's, you are right. We have to just write code once in the Ansible and it is compatible with all those. Okay, but in some use cases we do some small tweak and changes that I will do in some advanced part of Ansible, but the statement is right. It is compatible for all the OS. That's the main use of the Ansible here, and that's what, guys, I normally use the word called intelligence here. How Ansible is different from Terraform? Okay, it's very different tool. And Alok, is very good question you asked me, because a lot of guys think they are the same tool. Ansible is purely for the CM, and Terraform is purely for provisioning. And I told you guys right now, Ansible is not good in provisioning of the OS. So if you want to provision the OS, or I can say the entire infrastructure, right, then Terraform is a great tool. For example, if you want to launch the OS on the AWS cloud, plus some more thing at the network setup there. There are a lot of services there. You can use Ansible, but Ansible is not mature there. So we never advise Ansible to use there. But Terraform is so much mature in provisioning the operating system, plus lots of things, especially on the cloud. Okay, so in the simple line, Ansible is CM and Terraform is OS provisioning or a cloud provisioning tool. In some one straightforward line. Look, if I give answer to you. Expression very nice. Depth conserve, right conserve. Thank you, Nobel. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, Ayush, we are going to learn Ansible from very scratch. But yeah, I think you are asking me, can we create Ansible from the scratch? Answer yes. After guys, you go through my complete class of Ansible, you get the actual internal idea how Ansible is being created. Okay, and if you have guys extra knowledge also in technology, you can use those knowledge also, and you can create a tool like Ansible from the scratch. And I highly appreciate, even though we can make a team for this, especially from Earth Learner, and try to launch this kind of project, guys, to create a tool like Ansible from the scratch. Yes, Hitesh, we can do in VirtualBox. In the top, we have option to when you launch the OS, we can the option in the top to clip the clipboard. Before this, in your Oracle VirtualBox in this VM, you have to install some extra driver for this. Okay, so if you want to copy the data from Linux to Windows, Windows to Linux, in Oracle VirtualBox, the support. So yes, Sudhanshu, we are going to use from one OS to another in the Ansible. Normally, between Linux to Linux, they support SSS protocol. Okay, but if you use Windows, they use WinRM protocol and a lot of other protocols. So we have so depend upon requirement to requirement, we might use other protocol also. But yeah, in Ansible, between two OS to connect, especially in between two Linux, we are going to use SSS, and Linux to Windows, we are going to use WinRM. Ranjit, yes, after guys this complete training, I will give you free training on Red Hat exam bootcamp. Obviously, for those guys who has registered with the Red Hat exam. So one extra class I will conduct with you guys for you guys, where I will give you extra training on the exam preparation and the exam mock test. Piyush, Cisco packet tracer is a is a simulator, right? So if you want to create a router, switches, connect and check multiple protocol like OSPF or EIGRP. Okay, so obviously nobody, not everybody can buy the real devices. So Cisco packet tracer is like a simulator. You can install on your laptop and you can test all the core thing of the Cisco. Even though we have, I don't know guys if you guys belong to Cisco or not, but in the Cisco packet tracer also, even they are similar, but we can also connect Cisco packet tracer with Ansible to automate something there. If I tested, I won't, obviously I don't go, won't go in this training because this training is not the Cisco training, but I tested there it working. Real devices we can connect, but in Cisco packet tracer also we have certain way to do this kind of things, right? Yes, Deepak, if you make a particular class, that particular class, we will give you a link where you can post your request and we will provide a recording of that particular class. apart apart from Ansible Tower, we are going to learn everything about Ansible. Because why? Because Ansible Tower is one independent course from Reddit 44. That's called 447, and it's a long topic actually. So obviously in this training, I can't cover is independent training, right? So Ansible Tower, we won't cover here. Two reason: independent tool, separate topic training we have in the Red Hat, and they have a different course altogether, right? So in that angle, we can't cover. Yes, Eva, Ansible has a lot of advantage of SAF. Plus, there's something that Ceph and Puppet can do for you, Ansible can't do for you. So both the tools has some advantages and disadvantages. So if you want, Siva, I will discuss in my upcoming classes, and that is a reason. That is a reason. Normally, in some of the core projects I implemented and we have tested, we use both the tool together. Okay, so Ansible with Ceph, Puppet with Ceph, and some kind of combination we use. Okay, so what is this? If you want, we'll discuss in the future. Vedanta, for just for 2 or 3 days, you can think Ansible is a language, right? But it is not exact. It is like a framework. I don't want to discuss today, but after 2 or 3 days, you come to know Ansible is just a framework, and they use some other language to write the code. That's called YML. I don't want to confuse right now, but in after 2 or 3 days, you will get the exact meaning of why I'm saying Ansible is a framework. No, other thing, we are not going to use Python for the Ansible, but yeah, if you ask me, Ansible is tool in which language they have created. So the code language of the Ansible is Python. So the creator of the Ansible who create the Ansible on the Python language. Other thing, the main use of Ansible, okay, Ansible we can use for automation, but it's not only the reason we want to use the Ansible. The main use of Ansible is that intelligence part, what I'm talking about. Intelligent part. Okay. But yeah, obviously by default they come with the out of the box, they come with the automation, that is but obvious, but it's not the only reason why we use Ansible. We use Ansible for RAL. RAL. What is RAL? I will talk about in detail tomorrow. Okay. No, Milind, the main core use of Ansible is CM. There's a code use. Other use is provisioning. I told you, OS provisioning, or maybe some other use also. But the main use of the Ansible is CM. Chetan Kumar, maybe my team has started processing your book who has registered with us, Reddit official book. Okay, who extra registered who registered with us in the examination, or who registered with us. I'm not sure about examination, but I'm talking about who registered with us in this training. It is called RH294. Okay, so maybe soon, guys. It depends upon how much time a Korea will take. So maybe in the week, maybe maximum 10 days, you will get this book. But don't worry, you will get the books. But my training won't be depend on the books, right? But yeah, everything is there in the book. Will cover. I told you 4 to 7 book also we cover here. Okay, but yeah, books we require. So in the future, if you want to go for global examination, so we require either soft copy book or hardcore books. Some of the book you require. Yes, Ansible, Sudhanshu, you can run on the top of Ubuntu also. Yes, always you can use Ansible for web testing also, but depend, guys, what kind of testing you're looking for, because there are a lot of kind of testings we have. But yeah, some of the part of testing you can do using the help of Ansible. Yes, Dave, you can use AWS launch Reddit there. I highly recommend if you can install Reddit on the virtual box, so there will be no confusion in some kind of connectivity. Otherwise, if you think you're comfortable in AWS cloud, you can launch the Linux there. So what is basic requirement for Ansible? There's nothing, Aniket, sorry, there's no basic requirement. Only the thing is you need at least 2 OS of Red Hat 8 to be installed. That's the only requirement. Ansible is light tool, so there's no much requirement for the Ansible in your laptop in terms of RAM and CPU. Yes, Sakshi, guys, yes, guys, all the diagram that I created here, all the command I'll do here, and all the steps I write here, every bit I will be shared, guys, to you. Okay, so I will create one extra Google Drive and I create a document per day wise. So every bit, every diagram, every commands and code per day basis we will share to you. So you guys, you can use those things for the future reference. So so any classes for OpenShift? I don't know, Seva. Recently we have completed the OpenShift, right? So I don't know. We provide some time management class for Earth with as AST coming soon. Pranav, I don't know. Okay, sorry. Time management talking about, right? Yes, Pranav, we will soon will start, right? Okay. Yeah, I have some proper plan for this. Don't worry, we'll start time management classes. So thank you, Aneska, very much for this proper medicine guidance for my sore throat. Thank you. I will definitely try this also. The biggest challenge I have is I have to take off for some days as per my doctor to take the rest of my throat that I'm not doing. Otherwise, everything is good. So I'm trying to pick the question over here because a lot of questions we have and a lot of questions is coming multiple times. So I'm skipping those questions. Yes, Akansa, you can do this. You can configure and data nodes of the Hadoop with the Ansible. So anything that you do manually, you can automate everything with intelligence with the help of Ansible. And that would be that will we do in the future. Yes, Agni, in my upcoming class, not today, but in my upcoming class, we will discuss slowly about the DevOps. And after some days, you will know what exactly the DevOps is and how DevOps, why I'm saying Ansible is a part of DevOps. Can you confirm if your desired configure system should be installing Ansible? So, Krishna, there's no desired configuration, right? If you're installing your uh, or Red Hat on the top of your Linux, even though when I share my video, I told you there, but this Linux you got 1 GB RAM and this Linux you got 1 GB RAM. So almost 2 GB RAM if you have free in your laptop, that's okay. Hard disk again 10 GB we require. That's not so much critical. Normally RAM is the issue always. So for launching one OS, I require maximum 1 GB RAM. That's all in your laptop. Yes, Srinath, we will. I am going to discuss lots of, not one, not any, lots of industry use case of the Ansible. But I don't want to discussing only the use case because we don't know the Ansible actually, right? After I explain multiple topics on Ansible, and when I start reaching to the some advanced topic, I think that would be right time to discuss about some real time use case of the industry. Okay, very high level, I given one idea today. Samsung use cases there, right? But just to explain you some concept, but there's some more advanced use case of the Ansible in my upcoming classes we'll discuss. Kubernetes guys, abhi na is for different use case for container management, right? So if you want to create a container cluster, there we use Kubernetes. And after guys this Ansible training, we are planning to launch one Kubernetes classes, right? So after the Ansible complete, we will might launch Kubernetes. Can you give second attempt for exam without extra payment? Uh, I think I don't know which offer you guys register with. It's not from our side. From this offer come from Red Hat actually. So just confirm with my team. Okay. So if you are registered with the current offer from the Red Hat, it's called BOGO offer. So I think second attempt is free. You don't have to do anything extra for this. You don't have to pay any extra amount for this, but I don't know which of you have registered with Red Hat. According, you can pick. So guys, there, I think there's a lot of questions over, but a lot of guys questions you ask me very relevant. But I think in my upcoming days, all these questions somehow gonna to be covered. So I'm not picking those questions, guys, over here, but it's gonna cover in some of my upcoming classes, guys. So I just want to conclude, guys, for today, and great. And I think this was day. I just want to welcome you again. Interesting journey, and so would be. And guys, see you tomorrow, at the same time. Okay. That's all, guys. Good day. Good night. Bye. Take care.